I'm going to do a little bit of documenting before I start the process of taking out the tank, so that it will help me remember how everything goes back together. There is the Honda Beat fuel tank cover removed, and there is our fuel tank. We'll be getting that out shortly. Just want to document the condition of the chassis. It's really pretty good. There's hardly any rust. Let's see what the inside of the tank looks like though. To get the fuel tank out, you're going to have to take out the second compartment underneath the top, because you've got at least one bolt that you've got to access from the top. And I thought I'd do a little recording to document where things are before I drop the tank. I think I'm going to take the fuel filler neck out too. Looks like it should come easily. Honda Beat tank. I'm going to catch some footage of what's on the inside. See if I can get it to focus. Yeah, we've got a fair amount of rust in here. I wish I could say this was not common, but I'm starting to think it is pretty common. I don't think that the manufacturer sealed these tanks, and even though our fuel pump and assembly looks great, I now know that it's been replaced. The fuel level sending unit looks like that. And part of the fun is, you'll see this one's still got its rubber boot on the bottom, the new one does. This was in the tank. Whoever changed the fuel pump and sending unit assembly, well, that fell off the old one and it stayed in the tank. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done to these old cars. I think it's worth it, but this is definitely in need of some rust protection. Got a little bit of rust in the fuel filler neck, so I'm gonna coat this as well. Got the fuel pump out of the Honda Beat, and looks to be in pretty good shape. I don't see any problems there. I wanted to get some before and after vinegar treatment inside of the tank, to get a sense of how effective the vinegar is. 30% available at your hardware store. Big box retailers have it. Pour a bunch of vinegar in there, and use duct tape to tape up all the orifices so that I can slosh it around and get all the surfaces. I let the 30% vinegar sit in the tank overnight, and I have dumped it out. Get a little bit of footage of what it looks like on the inside after the vinegar. And listen, if you use 30% vinegar, remember that's real legit acid. Gloves, eye protection, all necessary. This stuff is pretty corrosive, and if you think you got it on your skin, you need to stop what you're doing right away and flood that area with water. So I'm going to let this bake in the, I rinsed it with about 3 gallons of water, putting in 1/3 of a gallon at a time, sloshing it around, and we're going to let this bake in the hot Alabama sun for a few hours to dry it all out. You can see some rust, surface rust, especially on the filler neck, but that's A-OK. POR 15, that stands for paint over rust, so it should give it a good surface to adhere to. There we go. What, 134? This has only been out here about 20 minutes, so I've heard that when your tank reaches 152, you should flip it over and bake the other side. I knocked some of the rust off of the fuel level sensor, And I think it still works because we changed the position of the float. The potentiometer changes values as well. All right, so that's empty tank right there. We'll simulate half a tank. So just needs some rust coating, I believe. One more thing, that's the filler neck on the inside of the tank. You can see it has a plastic flapper that goes over it. What I do is take a super long, like a Q-tip cotton swab with a bamboo shaft, stick it in there to make sure that that stays open so it doesn't get sealed shut. I'll try to get that on camera, but don't forget, because if you glue that shut with a sealant, you're gonna have a headache. I'm going to do the exterior of the tank with the standard black, gloss black, and the inside with the tank specific sealer. I think you can use bristle brushes to apply this stuff. I've done it before. My preference is the foam. Although this stuff does eat the glue that holds the foam on pretty quickly, so you're going to go through a lot of these if you do it the way I do it. The exterior of the tank and the tank shield are coated. I'm going to take one final look at the engine bay before I apply the pour 15 in here. Just kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Cleaned it pretty darn good. And let's see here. That's what she looks like. And the plan here is to do the box frame down. So I'm using this stick to prop open the plastic flapper on the fuel filler neck so it doesn't get glued closed when I coat the inside of the tank. So I'm going to tape this up to hold it in position.